Hi, this is Elliot Martin,
And I'm Becky Hatfield.
and we're coming to you from opposite ends of the country today to talk about Medicare
We're asking,
and answering all your questions related to Medicare so that way you can make an informed decision. This is the Medicare Navigators podcast. Everyone's going to have Medicare. Medicare on its own does not eliminate that catastrophic out-of-pocket expense.
Right.
Just if you have Part A and Part B. So when people add on the supplement or join an Advantage plan, they're at least putting that sort of cap on their out-of-pocket exposure. So that way they don't have to go into the emergency fund and take out $20,000 to pay for a medical bill, right? If they have a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage, those usually put a cap on that type of exposure in out-of-pocket expenses. So that's kind of why Medicare, getting a supplement or joining an Advantage is so important, is just because it puts, it at least makes your medical expenses a little bit more predictable as opposed to something that could potentially wipe out your retirement. So
And Becky, when we build what we call the software we use that helps us create the financial plan for our clients is called Retirement Analyzer. And what we do is in Retirement Analyzer, we can build in there in the budget their monthly expense plan. We can allocate for their Medicare premiums and their Medicare insurance. So it'll be counted, it'll be included. So when we come up with a final, okay, this is how much you need monthly to cover all your basic expenses, then we can do a kind of an extrapolate from that. Okay, here's how much guaranteed lifetime income we need to create. Here's how much Social Security you have. Okay, you have this much Social Security, but you have this much expenses. So let's make up that difference with guaranteed lifetime income. That third bucket, they can let that bucket grow without worrying about, okay, what's going to happen in the market? Do I need to get in or out? Do I need to trade stocks? You don't want to be buying stocks in retirement, worrying about that. People should be enjoying their retirement, having time with their spouse, with their grandkids, go on vacation, take cruises, spend a wonderful Friday night going to their favorite restaurant in town and not worry about, how much is the bill going to be? Oh, we better stay home and eat cereal tonight. They don't have to worry about that.
what would you tell someone who is in their 40s and in their 50s or even younger? What should you be doing when you're that age to set yourself up well for the future? Because I personally, my husband is going to be an educator. He is about to get his PhD. He's probably going to end up being a college professor. He works in academia right now. I work part-time, but mostly I'm a stay-at-home mom. So it's not like we're looking at oh, someday we're not rolling in the dough. We probably won't be rolling in the dough. What is someone just like you were saying, a normal middle-class person like us, what do we need to be doing to set ourselves up for the future?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you and your husband own a home or do you rent?
We own a home.
You own a home. Okay. So that's a great start. You got a protected asset. And the other good thing is that your husband, when he gets employed eventually as a professor, the first thing he should do is check into their retirement plans.
We already have, actually, thankfully, he works for the institution that he is also studying at, and we have had a 401k through them for a long time.
Okay, great. Do they have a pension plan also? Because a lot of colleges do have pension plans for their faculty.
I do not know. I need to ask him about that.
So that's something I would recommend looking into to see if they have some kind of a pension. So in the future, if they do offer a pension, you need to find out about that. Most school districts do offer pensions. Matter of fact,
Okay.
teachers, believe it or not, we found that government employees and teachers, school district teachers and school district employees actually have the best, and I would say golden retirement plans, far better than the private sector companies.
yeah,
Private sector companies don't offer pensions. But government employees and teachers, whether it's a local government, county government, state government, federal government, they all have pensions.
I guess that's the one good thing about working for the federal government, because I feel like school teachers never get paid enough, like month to month. But I guess it's like, hopefully that helps make up for some of the lack of, income that
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the contracts aren't as attractive today, but I've met some people that are going to earn in retirement, they're going to earn over 100% of their highest working year
Wow.
amount. So they're
Yeah.
actually going to earn more in retirement than they were working because they've
Whoa.
worked so many years into the system. They built in so many credits. They're going to earn just as much not to work,
Yep.
if
Wow.
not more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'll tell you, the average Social Security check in the United States is about $1,400.
That's low.
That's low. That's the,
Yeah,
imagine trying to live on $1,400 a month.
I
That's the
know.
average Social Security check. We meet a lot of public sector employees, either state, county, state, federal employees, and school teachers who are making $3, $4, $5, $6,000 a month pensions for life. So
That's
yeah,
nice.
so their pension system's a lot better. So anyway, getting back to your question, couple things I would do. You have young children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to, I would create powers of attorney for your children
Mm-hmm.
so that you have coverage for them. You and your husband should eventually get a living trust for your family to protect your house. That protects you from probate. And then as far as finances go in the future, I would try to put away as much money, and it's hard. I know, raising a small family, I did that myself. It's hard. There was hardly no money left at the end of the month to save when I was raising my family. But try as best you possibly can, fund the maximum into retirement accounts. So I don't know what your husband can check and see what's the maximum he can put in to his 401k plan. He should try to put that maximum in. Don't go over the maximum. So if let's say, for example, because the employers many times they'll match. So if you make let's say if you make a $5,000 contribution, the employer will try to match that with for every dollar you put in, they'll put in 20 cents, let's say. But there's a maximum on that. So they'll go up to a maximum, let's say at $10,000, the employer doesn't put any more money in. Okay, so then what you should do is you should put the maximum until your husband gets to the maximum combination between what he puts in and what the employer puts in.
Mm.
And then from there, he should then start like a Roth IRA, individual Roth IRA, and try to fund that completely to max out the funding on that. Now, the government limits how much you can put into a Roth IRA. It's about $7,500 a year.
Hmm.
That's the maximum. And same thing for you, Becky. You can start a Roth IRA. You should start a Roth IRA as soon as you can. And try to put money in there. If you can't put 7,500 in a year, okay, put 2,000 a year, but open one up, because a Roth IRA, not only does the money grow tax deferred, but later on in life, after you're age 59 and a half and you need to draw income, the income comes out tax free. So you won't pay any
Wow.
taxes on that in the future. So
Wow.
that's my recommendation for young families. Just try to save as much as you possibly can.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
sooner you start saving, the better, because of
Mhm.
that compounding interest. There's a chart. I wish I had the chart to show you, but there's a chart that shows, let's say a young person who's age 20 puts $5,000 a year into their IRA for 10 years, and then stops making contributions at age 30. At age 65, that 20-year-old will have $1 million at, let's
Wow.
say, 8% return. And then there's another person who waits until they're age 30 and then starts putting $5,000 in. To have the same amount of money at age 65, the 30-year-old has to put the $5,000 in for the rest of their life.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
And that's the miracle of compounding interest.
Yeah, the key ingredient is time. If you can start early, that time, I mean, time is, it's a valuable resource. And if you have it, you want to take advantage of it, right?
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Medicare Navigators podcast. We have a weekly Medicare 101 webinar that we would love to have you join us on. Go to our website at www.martinmedicare.com to reserve your spot today. Please join us again next week as we continue this conversation. All information related to this episode is listed below in the show notes.